Hey, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to our channel. If you're watching for the first time, take a second to subscribe to this channel. And for those who have been supporting this channel, returning viewers, thank you very much for being part of us. So, yesterday, Honorable Babu Owino was in an interview and he was answering various questions being asked. And one of the questions that he was asked was why he never voted for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Of course, Babu Owino came out to express that the judges that Rigathi Gachagua was being accused, some of them were not genuine. That's what he said. Like the tribal issue that Rigathi was being charged in the Senate and the National Assembly. Babu Owino asked the interviewer, who among those leaders is not tribal? And to him, that was not a just issue for him to vote for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. But ladies and gentlemen, today I want to go into one thing that Babu did reveal. That was about when he was asked about the coalition that Rigathi Gachagua is forming with Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and Fred Matiangi. So Babu Owino was asked on a genuine opinion who the weight of that coalition and who should be the presidential candidate of that coalition. Surprisingly, Babu Owino said that that coalition is strong, but they should front Fred Matiangi. If they want to win presidency, they should front Fred Matiangi and support Fred Matiangi fully without any division. Ladies and gentlemen, in this analysis, we want to look into why Babu Owino and other Kenyans have been feeling that Fred Matiangi is the man who can give victory to that coalition as a presidential candidate. And without further ado, let's get into it. Reason number one, Fred Matiangi performed very well when he was working with Uhuru, especially in the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Education, where he brought a lot of changes. That's why many people, remember that not a lot of people are exposed to news or to internet or to social media. But people know Fred Matiangi when he was in the Ministry of Education. If you ask a person from Turkana, an old mother who is in the village, there was never accessed the media and doesn't know much about politics, she will tell you that she knows Fred Matiangi. And that's why Fred Matiangi is a worthy competitor against President Ruto. That good performance that is clinging in people's mind. People know that he streamed the Ministry of Education, bring a lot of changes, stopping examination irregularities, like even the school buses being painted yellow was the time of Fred Matiangi, which was a good initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason number two, Matiangi has that national image. The tribal card doesn't play with Matiangi so much because he comes from a small tribe, of not a very small tribe, but it's a small tribe compared to the tribes that have been leading this nation, the Kikuyu, the Kalenjin, the Luo. But Matiangi comes from Kisii tribe, a tribe that merely can has never raised 1 million votes to one candidate. Like last year, the total votes that were voted in Kisii and Nyamira were about 600,000 votes. So Matiangi comes from a small tribe. So the fact that he comes from a small tribe, the tribal card doesn't play with him. He displays that national image. And a lot of people are going to vote for him because of performance, not because of his tribe. And when you are voting according to performance, he's going to attract a lot of votes, especially from the Gen Zs, which forms my point number three, the Gen Z factor. A lot of opinion polls right now are being run on who should run for presidency against Ruto, and I can confidently tell you that the person who is always winning, I've seen Morala Kebas on the poll, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, President Ruto, Fred Matiangi. In these opinion polls, Matiangi is constantly winning, which shows that remember that these polls, most of the people are voting the Gen Z because these are the people who are mostly with a huge percentage in the social media, and Matiangi is getting a good percentage of that, which shows us that Matiangi can get a vote from the Gen Z. Remember that come 2027, as much as there is that debate of different people who have never been in the political limelight, people who have never run for any post, new faces, but at the very end of the day, it's going to be weighed on competition. Who has that worthy ability to run against Ruto? Let's say, for example, we are bringing Morara Kebaso, Fred Matiangi, and William Ruto is on the ballot. Of course, Morara Kebaso has never run for any presidential position or has never held any position. He's a totally new face. But will he get that support? We are bringing the like of Okia Mtata, Fred Matiangi, Ruto. Can Okia Mtata get that support? Of course, he's a very right candidate. That one is not in issue. But can he attract that national support worthy to run against President Ruto? That is the question that is on the table. And that's the question why Fred Matiang'i is coming top amongst all these candidates. While the Gen Zs are, some part of it are feeling that it's the time for the new face, the question that is also being asked is, this new face that is going to be brought, does it have that ability to run against President Ruto? But at the very end of the day, when 2027 is approaching, trust me, the people will be having followers behind them are the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, and Fred Matiang'i. Any new face, chances of pulling votes are very few. Presidential votes are very few. Putting in mind that in presidency in Kenya is a country that has many tribes. As much as Gen Z are fighting the tribal card will still play out. The image you have created for yourself over the past few years will also play out. The likes of Matiang'i. Matiang'i has been in government for some period and he has performed well. That is working in his favor right now. And at the end of the day, finances is a key thing in running for presidency. Of course, you can come as a new face. You can run for presidency today, but if you don't have the resources to do an effective competition or campaign, then it's going to be very difficult to clinch presidency. That's why Matiang'i is a bit ahead. He's being fronted with Jubilee, whose party leader is Uhuru Kenyatta, and that shows you that this can the people behind can pull resources worthy for the campaign. Another thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that Fred Matiang'i is a man of action. If you remember, when Fred Matiang'i was in the Ministry of Education, he could go to school, he could question principals about dormitories, about learning, about books. He was a man of action, a man who could go to places and demand for changes. I remember him going to the birth certificates and passport issuance, and he was questioning why people were being delayed, why corruption was taking place. In short, Fred Matiang'i is a man of action. Imagine it's 2026 or 2027 as we're approaching election, and Matiang'i is standing on a vehicle in some village, in some market campaigning, and he's telling people that when I take presidency, I'm going to make this share thing work. I'm going to make NHIF and the health funding and finance insurance work. People are going to trust him. If Matiang'i is going to tell some people, some men somewhere, some women somewhere, that when I take presidency, our education is going to work, people will trust him. He has done that before when he was even in a small position. What if he is the president? People are going to trust him. So the fact that Matiang'i is a man of action is also another thing that is playing in his advantage. But at the end of the day, what is very difficult when it comes to the Kenyan politics is the power sharing formula. Remember that Rigathi Gachagua, Kindiki, the likes of Ndindi Nyoro, came to a contention where President Ruto was getting a running mate until the very last day. Actually, the last day is when President Ruto decided to pick Rigathi Gachagua. So that power sharing formula is the most difficult thing. When these people, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Fred Matiang'i, are going to sit on the table and decide who is going to run for presidency, who is going to be running mate, who is going to take what, That is the very, very difficult thing. I think that can divide that coalition. But if they break through the power sharing formula, some people reduce their ego and decide, okay, this is what has been agreed, we are going with it. That one is going to make the coalition effective. Imagine we have Fred Matiangi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, all presidential candidates. If Rigathi Gachagua is going to form a political party, who is going to pull down? Who is going to agree to go to a position of prime cabinet? Kalonzo Musyoka? Is it Rigathi Gachagua? That is the biggest question. Will they agree that, okay, let's give Fred Matiang'i to run for presidency? Who is going to be running mate? The biggest questions that are on the table. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be seeing how things will be unfolding. That's but only my opinion. You can tell me what you think in the comment section as we approach 2027. Remember that IBC right now is in the process of being constituted, and we are praying for our nation. And stay safe whenever you are, ladies and gentlemen.